Hi there. Let me ask you something. How have you been feeling lately? I recently surveyed the members of the Intention Circle community, and the number one concern that I heard was a lack of inner peace and contentment. So I thought, let me make a video and share with you my number one technique to help you reclaim your inner Zen. It's not surprising that that was the number one concern. We live in a time of high uncertainty. I mean, I could list a lot of things like the rising price of food and housing, employment concerns. I have two friends who lost their jobs last year. And not only have they not been able to find another job, they haven't even landed an interview yet. So it's no wonder that our bodies are kind of on high alert right now. And that can really affect our health because when we're on high alert, it's difficult to sleep well. And when we don't get restorative sleep, that can lead to difficulty functioning the next day. You have brain fog and it's hard to make decisions. And then that rolls into irritability because we haven't rested well. It can affect our digestion. It can also depress our immune system. And in the short term, that means we're more susceptible to catching viruses like the cold and the flu and other viruses that are going around. In the long term, it can be deadly because stress-related chronic conditions include things like heart disease and metabolic disorders like diabetes and weight gain. It can affect our neurological functioning. Stress is related to conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, even cancer. Stress can be a silent killer. And I say that silent because sometimes we're not even aware how stressed we are. I can say that because for decades, I lived in a state of chronic anxiety. And I didn't even realize that it was affecting me so much. It was my normal. It was my normal to have headaches. It was my normal to have sinus infections. I had jaw pain. I was grinding my teeth. I was always either bloated or constipated. I had difficulty sleeping. So if stress management is so important, why don't we do it more? Well, that's something else I learned from the community. Number one concern is lack of time. So what would you say if I told you that my number one technique that I'm going to share with you can be done in just minutes a day? And it's something that I do every day, and it has helped me so much. I no longer get headaches. I have excellent digestion. I sleep so well. I threw away the mouth guard the dentist made for me because I was grinding my teeth all the time. And without even trying, I lost 22 pounds just because I was less stressed. So what I'm going to teach you has to do with breathing. And you're probably thinking, hello, I breathe all the time. Yes, we do, but maybe we're not breathing well. We're breathing in a stress-induced way, not a way that fosters relaxation in the body. So a couple things I want to tell you about breathing. First off, we want to look at breathing diaphragmatically. What do I mean by that? Well, our diaphragm is a thin muscle that stretches across the inside of our torso. It attaches to our ribs in the front and our spine in the back. And when we take a really deep inhale and we really inflate our lungs fully, it forces the diaphragm to extend downward. That massages our digestive organs, and it can also make our bellies pooch out a little bit. And then when we exhale, we want to get all that stale air out of our lungs. And when we do that, our diaphragm comes back up and it massages our lungs and our heart. When we're in a state of high alert, you may not realize, but most people tend to breathe fast and they tend to breathe shallow. And so when we do long, slow breathing, it sends a signal to our brain that says, I'm safe. and I can relax. And I don't have to be in this state of high alert. Okay, so breathing with the diaphragm. You know you're breathing diaphragmatically if when you take an inhale, your tummy pooches out, and when you exhale, you want to focus on pulling the muscles of your abdomen back towards your spine. Second tip for breathing well is to pause. So we want to inhale slowly and then pause with our lungs full before we exhale. And my third tip for breathing well is to release all of the air from our lungs with a long, slow exhale that's longer than the inhale. So however long your inhale is, you want your exhale to be longer, maybe even twice as long, with that pause in between. So we're going to practice that. I've got a video to walk you through 2 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing. But before we go there, before we practice, I want you to kind of tune into yourself and think about how you're feeling and pick a face. It kind of matches how you're feeling right now. And then let's practice 2 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing. If you're new to intentional breathing, you may want to sit down. If at any point you begin to feel winded, simply resume normal breathing. Begin by exhaling all the air from your lungs. Now inhale, hold your breath. 3, 2, 1, exhale, long, slow, breathe out. Inhale and hold. For 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. Inhale and pause. 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. Breathe in and pause. 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. Inhale and pause. 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. Inhale and pause. 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. Inhale, pause. 3, 2, 1, long, slow exhale. How do you feel? Take a moment to honor yourself for doing something to take care of your health. So how was that for you? Let's go back to the faces and think about the face you picked before you breathed for 2 minutes. And has it changed? Would you pick a different face now to reflect how you're feeling? So when should you breathe? First off, anytime you feel stress coming on, maybe you're running late for an appointment, maybe traffic is slowing you down, maybe you are anticipating a difficult conversation with someone, or maybe you just had a difficult conversation with someone, or maybe your kids are driving you crazy. Take 2 minutes to breathe diaphragmatically. And you know what? You don't have to go off and sit on a meditation cushion to do that. You can do it anywhere. But what I really want you to try to do is to practice diaphragmatic breathing for 2 minutes every day. Because when you breathe that way every day, your body starts to learn to breathe that way all the time. And the more relaxed state you're in, the less triggered you're going to get when something stressful happens. And the faster you're going to revert back to that state of rest, digest, and heal, that parasympathetic state. So when we look to integrate a healthy habit into our routine, the best way to do that is to pick a point within the activities that you already do every day and just drop it in there. Drop it into your existing routine. If you try to say when you get up in the morning, well, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically 2 minutes at some point during the day, you know what's going to happen? That point never comes. But if you say, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically for 2 minutes before I get out of bed in the morning, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically for 2 minutes after I brush my teeth, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically for 2 minutes while I'm in the shower. When I get in the car and get ready to go to work, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically on my commute. Something that you do every day, link it to 2 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing. And I'll share with you, a few years ago, I was feeling, I was losing a lot of my vitality. I was losing strength. I realized when I had to ask my son to carry the vacuum cleaner up the stairs for me that I really needed to do something to get myself back into a better physical condition. And I decided to try yoga. And I inserted yoga between brushing my teeth and getting dressed for the day. And it was a struggle at first, but now it's so routine that there are plenty of mornings when I wake up and I say to myself, oh, I don't feel like practicing yoga today. And as soon as I finish brushing my teeth, my body has rolled out the mat and I haven't even thought about it. And all of a sudden I'm on the mat and I realize, oh, I didn't feel like doing this today, but it just happened. I love sharing with people things that have helped me with my health transformation. And I would love to hear from you. Was this helpful or not? Because that helps me improve the information that I'm sharing. So I would love if you would leave me a comment and let me know how it was for you. And also, I'll just share with you, I have a big bag of tricks. If diaphragmatic breathing isn't your favorite technique or you want some others, oh my goodness, I have so many techniques and ideas that I could share with you. So if you're interested in going deeper, leave that in the comments as well and let me know, because I would love to put something together where we could get together virtually, face to face, live, and I can hear from you what your challenges are, and I can offer some ideas and tips and solutions. So I appreciate your time so very much. This is Carolyn Pitts, and remember to intend well.